Dear students, in continuation to my lectures on lipid metabolism, we have already discussed about beta oxidation and alpha oxidation, and today we are going to discuss about omega oxidation of fatty acid. So this is the omega carbon in a fatty acid structure. This is the hydrocarbon chain, this is the carboxylic acid functional group, and the most distant carbon from this carboxyl group of the fatty acid is known as omega carbon. The carbon adjacent to the carboxyl group is the alpha, the next carbon is beta, and then the gamma carbon. So this is the structure of a fatty acid having alpha, beta, gamma and omega carbons. So omega oxidation is a process of fatty acid metabolism in some species of animals. It is an alternative pathway to the beta oxidation that instead of involving the beta carbon involves the oxidation of the omega carbon. The process is normally a minor catabolic pathway for the medium chain fatty acids, and the medium chain fatty acid contain 10 to 12 carbon atoms. But the pathway becomes more important when beta oxidation is defective. And the beta oxidation is defective because of mutation or the carnitine deficiency. Now coming to the location. In vertebrates, the enzymes of omega oxidation are located in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum of liver and kidney cells instead of the mitochondria as with beta oxidation. What is the substrate for omega oxidation? The substrates are medium to long chain fatty acids. That is the fatty acid which contain 10 to 12 carbon atoms, and the end product is a dicarboxylic acid. Now coming to the steps. This is the fatty acid having omega carbon. This is the structure of lauric acid which consists of 12 carbon atom. And the first step introduces a hydroxyl group into the omega position. The oxygen for this group come from the molecular oxygen in a complex reaction that involves the cytochrome P450 and the electron donor NADPH. The reactions of this type is catalyzed by the mixed function oxidase. And in this step, the lauric acid is changed into fatty alcohol, or any fatty acid will change into fatty alcohol. Now there are involvement of two more enzymes, that is the alcohol dehydrogenase and the aldehyde dehydrogenase. The alcohol dehydrogenase oxidizes the hydroxyl group into an aldehyde group, and the aldehyde dehydrogenase oxidizes the aldehyde group to the carboxylic acid, producing a fatty acid with a carboxyl group at each end. So when we oxidize lauric acid, we can get a fatty alcohol, then we can get a fatty aldehyde, and then we can get a fatty dicarboxylic acid because of the two carboxylic acid group at each end. And the important thing which is to be noted here is that there is a production of 2 NADH group at each of the step, and this NADH will produce ATPs, as we have already discussed that 1 NADH will produce us 2.5 ATP. So here is a production of 2 NADH, so it produces ATPs also. And when there is a production of a fatty dicarboxylic acid at this point, then either of the end can be attached with a coenzyme, or the molecule then can enter to the mitochondria and undergoes the beta oxidation by the normal route. And in each pass through the oxidation, that is the beta oxidation pathway, the double-ended fatty acid yield dicarboxylic acid such as succinic acid. The succinate we can obtain from the succinic acid, and this succinic acid can enter to the citric acid cycle, or we can get the adipate from the adipic acid through the beta oxidation. Now coming to the significance of omega oxidation, it is a subsidiary pathway for the beta oxidation of fatty acids when beta oxidation is blocked, and many studies also have demonstrated that omega oxidation serves to provide succinyl coenzyme A for the citric acid cycle and for gluconeogenesis under the condition of starvation and diabetes. So this is all about omega oxidation. If you like this video, please do subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. Thank you for your time.